So we're going to be using PyCharm extensively throughout this course. We'll just use PyCharm. You can use other IDEs, such as Spider, I think is one of them. But PyCharm's the one I'm familiar with. If you looked at my other course, if you've done my other course, Programming Foundations, we started using PyCharm about halfway along that. So it's a very nice code editor, integrated development environment. Very nice way of developing your Python code. Okay, so you can download and install it for free. Make sure you get the community edition. And if you're doing other developments, PyCharm is developed by a company called JetBrains. They also do IntelliJ, which I use for Java development, and other tools, DataGrip, and so on. There's the link, and they do the versions for Windows, Mac, Linux machines. So if you're doing a lot of programming, it's a good idea to get familiar with this set of products, because they're well, industry leaders, I would say. Okay, download it. Make sure you download it from that site, and make sure you get the community edition, not the professional one. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for it after a while. And stick to the standard installation. But I recommend at the moment you don't associate Py files with PyCharm. You can change that, but if you do that, what happens is you can open a Python file just by opening PyCharm. So you just double click on the Python file that opens PyCharm, and you don't get the rest of the project, which is not such a good idea. So I recommend you always do your development through PyCharm projects and not through opening individual files. Okay. When you're installing it, don't import the existing settings unless you're already a PyCharm user. So you may have already installed it. You may need to do none of this. And you get a startup screen a bit like that. And then, in order to get access to the code that I've provided along with these lecture notes, download the file, and you'll find it's already, each week, the file is set up as a PyCharm project. So you need to download it. You need to unzip it. I know there are lots of people who forget to do that and then wonder why it's not working. Make sure you unzip it and then open it with PyCharm using File, and then Open. And I've already done that. So here we are, File, Open, and then I opened it. I put it on my desktop, and here's the examples, which initially they come closed down like that, and then I've opened them up. Okay, so you can see there's actually 4 examples there. There's Hub01, there's Pizza01, Search01, and UniApp01. So 3 of the ones that I mentioned, and another one. Now, to run a program, we're going to start with Hub01. So if you look at it, there's Hub01. There's the folder, and it's got a file called controller01 in it, which we're going to run. That's the Python file, just you can look through it. You can find it the way I've just shown you through the project window in PyCharm, and then to run it, yes, and then double click to open the file to see the code that appears in this window. And then to run it, you can do various things. You can run controller from the menu. Okay, that won't quite work at the moment because we haven't started running it. We can right click and run it. Right click and run controller01. We can Control Shift F10 if once we've opened the file, Control Shift F10, and that will run it as well. And you can see that it started producing some output down the bottom here. And once we've done that, I think then we can use the run. Yeah, there we go. Run controller01. That'll just run it again. So you have to run it once to get those menus set up. Okay. Make sure when you're responding it, you type your input in the run window and not in the code editor. So you'll see here it's asking for the name. Make sure you type it in here, not in the editor. Here it's very easy to miss that. When you're doing lots of development, it's very easy to end up typing in this window, messing up your code. And the first time you run it, if you just install it, you might see a dialog from a Windows firewall. If you're running on a Windows machine, just click Allow Access, and that should be fine. Okay, I'm going to stop that video there, and then we'll look at running this example and what it does.